Hey everybody, hope y'all are doing well. First off, I want to give a cautionary warning. I'm going to be going into some very sensitive topics concerning rape and karma. So, I suggest anybody, I feel like I know there's a few people who watch my channel that are very sensitive to this topic, so you might not want to watch this video. I just sent 13 Son a tweet, asking him, just being curious, because to be honest, his viewpoint on how to deal with rapists is just to kill them all or destroy them all. And when I see that, it just doesn't feel right. For multiple reasons. For one, if you look at the word karma, which is a word that a lot of people seem to agree with the word karma. It's not very often you hear somebody be like, I don't believe in karma. But when you start talking about rape and deeper, darker things, that word can, kind of not be found quite as much, even though it's the key word to go to when these type of things happen to you. So I have the definition right here. I'm going to read it to you guys. Sum of a person's actions in this and previous state of existence, viewed as deciding their fate in future existences. The informal definition is destiny or fate, following as effect from cause. And now the definition of rape: unlawful sexual activity and usually sexual intercourse carried out forcibly or under threat of injury against a person's will or with a person who is beneath a certain age or incapable of valid consent because of mental illness, mental deficiency, intoxication, unconsciousness, or deception. It's an outrageous violation, an act or instance of robbing or despoiling or carrying away a person by force. So it's really some not good stuff. I am not encouraging or supporting it in any way, shape, or form. However, I am here to try to figure out a way to end this cyclical cycle, because I don't think destroying things is what really brings any type of healing to the situation. I think it, in fact, is more in line with like revenge, and I think it's that type of mentality that actually keeps this type of rape cycle going, because an eye for an eye doesn't work. You end up blind. You're supposed to turn the other cheek. We're supposed to, and it's the whole lesson of, we make our own bed. I hate to say it, but it needs to be said. If you've done, deception is a very powerful thing. Like, there's, in this term of rape, there's the sexual rape, but there's also like raping people, for their energy, lying to them, making them feel like you're their friend when you're really not their friend, and you're using them for some type of manipulation. In a sense, that's, okay, so unlawful, so to follow law, to divine law, to be truthful. So right there, you're breaking divine law. So people got to realize, like, when they lie and when they sin and when they're deceitful, there's consequences for these things, so if you're lying and you're deceitful about things of a sexual nature, or if you're putting people off, if you're playing games with people and you've been doing it for a long time, that stuff comes back at you. That's why it's really not good to play with people's hearts, to play with people's minds, to play with people's emotions, to try to get a rise out of people. If you're just doing it for that reason at all, you're feeding a demon, okay? And that has a consequence that comes back at you. It is what it is, man. So, again, I just sent 13 a tweet, literally being like, hey man, I don't know, maybe you can help me out here, because I just don't think destroying all these rapists is really going to solve anything. Then it also gets to the, the spiritual aspect of the fact that there is no death. So even if we were to destroy these things, they're going somewhere else. We're just sending that sick energy somewhere else. We're not really actually dealing with the problem. We're just trying to move it away. We're just trying to put a temporary, we're just trying to relocate it, really put it to somebody else's hands instead of just dealing with it here and now. And I do think we need to identify these people that are sick and truly help them, for those of us who are able to help them. But, killing them is not the right answer, in my opinion. They need help. They're sick, but they do need to be relocated away from, you know, their trigger areas. A lot like, you know, drug addicts and stuff. It can be very difficult for one to get off of drugs, or anybody with any type of an addiction to anything, if they're around that trigger all the time, and if there's no, you know, restraints. I mean, if you're violating people like that, yes, there should be people keeping you from doing that. You know, if I were to do something like that, to really hurt somebody like that, I would want somebody to keep me on check, because I know, first of all, I'm hurting somebody else. That's wrong. And I'm also hurting myself. You know, it's wrong in so many different ways. And I'm really just hurt inside myself. So I need help. I need healing, you know. Hurt people hurt people. So these rapists are actually hurt inside and they need help healing. But they're not going to get any help healing if we just continue to kill them with hate and negativity and this, you know, uncompassionate view that they're just filth and nothing more. When actually everybody's a child of the Most Highs. Everybody deserves and reserves redemption, you know, and love and compassion and forgiveness, you know. But we have to, those of us with a lighter heart have got to suck it up and help. Now, I'm not saying those who have actually been raped, you know, they're probably not in the position to help these people, because that's just too much personal intensity. They need to deal with their own things in their own time, and maybe when they get to a later date, they can maybe, you know, help with the situation, or they can at least help relate to others who've been through it, you know, those of that that have a little bit more experience and have grown from their trauma. But those of us who haven't been, you know, violated in such a way should really step forth and talk to these rapists and be like, bro, you know, what you're doing is bad in a lot of different ways, and I think you're really just hurting inside, so let's help break down the pain and find out who you really are inside and what's really going on with you, and then help plant that good seed in them so we can turn that bad fruit into a good one. Because I'm all about transmutation and turning this shit around from that negative, destroying, and all this hate to, you know, being like light like a feather, being like love, being like God, to really help creation grow, all of creation, not just the good, the bad too. The bad's actually what really needs help more than anything. So anyways, I love you all. Hope you have a good day. All right, bye.